Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be using One Size Beauty by Starr. I do not use this palette that much, but I decided today we are going to play because I was in the mood to use this palette. So this is the packaging, if you have not seen it before. And this is the palette. Here is the color scheme. Today I want to go into the green tones, and yeah. So I'm going to be right back with my brows done, and then we'll do my face together. Okay, so I am back with my brows all done. They're not even, and I'm not really liking this brow, but we'll deal with it and maybe I'll fix it later. So today for what I'm priming with is I'm using this e.l.f. matte putty primer. And we're just going to put this all over my face. For foundation today, I'll be using the ILmakiage foundation. I use this one a lot, and this is the Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation in the shade 035. Okay, so I'm going to do like 2 pumps of this foundation. Or maybe one more. I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just put dots of the foundation everywhere. And then start blending it in. So when I am done blending it out with a brush, I like to take my beauty blender and just pat all the foundation in just to make sure there is no brush strokes, and then I'm going to be adding my concealer. For concealer, I will be using the e.l.f. Cameo 16 Hour Wear concealer. This is in the shade Light Sand. I like to put my concealer in the inner corner, out here region of my eye, to be lifting and not bringing down. I like to put it right at the tip of my nose, a tiny bit on my bridge of my nose, on my chin, and in the center of my forehead. And then I take a beauty blender to blend all of this in. A little tip when you are blending out your concealer, you want to have a damp beauty blender when you use beauty blenders. Of course, you can use a brush to blend out your concealer, but I mean, when you are using a sponge, you want to use a wet, damp one, because when you use a dry one, it doesn't absorb the product like you want it to be doing. So I always recommend you use a damp one. I used to not use it when I was younger. Horrible decision. For powder, we will be using the loose setting powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade Vanilla. I'm taking my beauty blender and I'm dipping it into the powder, and I am just going to be setting under the eyes. We're not doing any baking. We're just setting it so under my eyes do not crease. Now you can use a pressed powder. You do not have to use loose. I just prefer to use loose because loose is my favorite powder to use. But later on, I will not be using powder for a certain step of my makeup. And then I'm going to put it also on my chin and middle of my forehead. And no, I'm not really. I'm taking it on my chin and in the middle of my forehead, so the concealer there does not move. It is all set and done with. Just like that. Then I will be taking my Tati Beauty powder puff, sort of, and I'm going to be dipping it into the powder, and I'm going to be using this to set all of my face with powder. I prefer to use one of these powder puffs or a beauty blender to set my powder instead of using a brush, is because a brush will just place it on like this. You need to press it into your skin to have all of your foundation and concealer and any other products you have to be set, because you don't want it moving on your face. And then of course I use a tiny bit on my nose because my nose is very dry and powders make your nose dry. Or not just your nose, your whole skin. So not that much powder on my nose. So now I'm going to be using my Maybelline New York concealer, and we're going to be putting this on our eyelids to prime for our eyeshadow. We are going to do the rest of the face later. I like to take a break and start doing my eyes. And then I'm taking a beauty blender and we're just blending in that concealer. You can use a primer because there are eye primers, but I just like to use a concealer because that works just as well. But you just want something on your eye. You don't want to leave it blank when you add your eyeshadow. So we are going to be starting the eye process. So I am going to be taking Matcha, which is this dark green at the bottom. And I am just taking an e.l.f. blending brush, and I am just going to pack this green into my crease. It's okay to get a little higher because we are going to be using a darker shadow to darken everything up. And then of course after you finish doing your patting on the eye, then you want to take your brush and just sweep back and forth to blend out the edges and the whole eyeshadow. So I'm going to be taking one of these brushes. This is from a collection of Cruella de Vil, as you can tell. And we are going to be dipping into Mango and Manila Sands. And we are just going to the top and just blending that out. Just like that. Now, of course, you can use your other brush to add more pigment wherever you need to. So just go back and forth between those until you get how you like it to turn out. I am bringing my transition shade all the way down to here because I just want to bring it out like that. And of course you want to make sure the edges are all blended out of the dark green because we don't want any harsh lines. Now I do have to say though, something with this palette. The colors on the pan, when you put them on your eye, they do become darker. I do realize that when I use this palette, especially that matcha, because it's not as dark as what you would see. Like, this is the swatch, and this is how it's applied on my eye. So, like, here. It is very close, but I feel like it's more green it's definitely more green in the pan than it shows on the eye. I then like to use a clean brush and just go over all of the eyeshadow you just put on to like triple or double check that everything is blended, because sometimes if you don't have any product on your brush, it just helps make everything more blended than it already is. Now it is coming out more brighter and more vibrant, especially with the dark green on the screen, than it is in real life. I am taking my JS12 brush from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and we're going to be dipping into Turban Legend. And we're we're going to take this shade and we're going to tap it in the outer corner and connect it to the green. Put it halfway, a little bit, not even halfway, just a little bit like this. And put it on your outer corner of your eye to add some dimension. I am going to dip into the green as well and just help blend everything out. So it should look a little something like this. We're doing a little smoky eye today. Now there is something you can do while you are using eyeshadow. Sometimes what you should do is take your beauty blender, get some powder. Now I should have done this beforehand, but I'm going to do it since I'm using blacks now. And just you sweep it right under. So if you have any fallout, it will be on this powder and it will not affect your foundation. I just did it now because sometimes black is very pigmented enough that it will fall. So I just want to be careful because I do not want to redo my base. But when you are dipping into the pan, there is fallout in the pan. For me, it is not a big deal because it's powder. You can literally just press it in. But I know some people do not like it, so I am just staying out there. But now I'm going to go and crease my eye because we're doing a cut crease. And I'm going to do exactly what I have right here on this eye. So I will be right back. Okay, so now I have both of my eyes cut creased and I'm going to be dipping into Olive It. I love that name. And this is a beautiful green. This is probably my favorite color in this palette. It is so pretty. It is so green. And I just love it so much. And then I'm also just taking the same brush, well not the same brush, but same brand from like the Cruella de Vil collection. You're just using those brushes. So this is how the eyes look so far. I'm now just taking this big brush and I'm taking off all the powder because we don't need it anymore. Now when you take off powder and you have some fallout, you just want to go very lightly. You don't want to press hard into the skin like that. You just want to go whoop, and then it should all be gone. You might have to do it a few times, but it'll get it off. And of course, I'm just doing a little patting so it's not like so dry. Cools down my face really when I do this. So I am taking the same brush I used on the black and I am just going to dip a tiny bit and I'm just gonna put it right down here. We're not gonna go all the way because I don't want to close off my eye with this eyeshadow, but we're just doing it a little bit like this. We'll put a little bit, we'll blend it into the middle. Let me do the other side and then we're just going to add a little bit of the brown. I'll give you the name in a second. We're going to dip into a little bit of brownie and booked. And we're just going to use those two to blend it into the middle. And then we leave it like that for eyeshadow. Just like this. Then I'm going to be using my One Size Beauty liquid eyeliner, and I'm not doing wing, I am just doing a little eyeliner on top. I'm going to add some mascara. Just a little bit. just going to be taking this Beachfront bronzer. This is from Unique. And I am just going to put bronzer everywhere. I am going to where I usually put it. Now I feel like I already look bronzed today, so I'm not really going to do that much, especially on the forehead, because I really don't need that much on the forehead because I do not have that big of a forehead, which I am blessed for, not having a big forehead. And then I'm just going to do my nose. Now, I am not an expert at nose contour at all, so I keep switching up brushes because I am still trying to learn the best way for me to use it. Especially this side of my nose, I always have difficulty doing. And I like to connect it to my brow like that. And then we're going to just take a little bit and then put it right here. Yeah. So then you have this like little spot. So after I do my nose contour, I like to use a pressed powder, like I said earlier. This is what it looks like. It is from e.l.f. And I am just going to dip. Now, I learned this from Nikki Tutorials, of course, our queen. And she uses a dry beauty blender, but I'm not going to. But I am just setting the nose just like that. I like to do a little bit like that. And now we're going to do blush and highlighter and then do a lippy. So I am going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moon Child highlighting palette, and I am going to be using the shade Lucky Clover, which is this green highlighter, and we're just going to put that everywhere we put highlighter. I'm going to be using this Colourpop lip liner. This is in the shade Obvi. And then I'm taking this Rimmel London, and we're just tapping it. I am taking this Maleficent lip gloss, and we are going to be using it. This is from the Pop Disney Villains makeup collection. That's also where I got the Cruella de Vil brushes. And to be honest, their formula is pretty good. It's very glossy. End of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. This was a really fun makeup look to do. I really enjoy this look. And even though I did forget to film my TikToks, it still went out pretty good. So this video will be uploaded Monday, the 11th, I believe, of January. Every video I post is going to be uploaded on Monday at 1 p.m. And I hope you guys please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below any makeup palettes you want me to see. I am on a budget right now, so I can't spend major money, but I'll see what I can do, and maybe I'll have the palette already. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget to follow my Instagram and TikTok, which will be linked on the screen somewhere, and then also in the bio. As usual, I will be putting down the products I used and putting the price range, so if you guys want to buy it, it's there so you know the prices. I won't do links, but I will give you the prices and stuff for it. See you guys next time. Bye!